Hi, within this lecture, we're going to see how to change our MAC address manually from the terminal. And maybe you think that we have seen how to do that with make changer, right? But we're going to see another technique and use that technique in our Python codes as well. So let me open a new terminal in here and run ifconfig. So we have ETH0 in here, and we're going to change the MAC address of that interface. And it really doesn't make sense to change a NAT network's MAC address, right? Because this isn't even a real interface. So if I was using a wireless card, a USB wireless card, then it would make sense to change this, but it doesn't make sense to change the ETH0's MAC address at all. But we're going to do this as a practice. So if you have a wireless card, you can work with WLAN-O as well, but you don't need to. So I'm going to use ETH0, and since it doesn't make sense to change this MAC address, we will lose our internet connection in Kali Linux actually, because it isn't a real interface. So if I was using a WLAN-O with wireless card, then I wouldn't lose my internet connection and it would have made much more sense. But since we are doing it for practice purposes only, it really doesn't matter. So if I call pinkgoogle.com right now, I still have internet connection, but I will lose it afterwards. And it really doesn't matter, I can connect to internet using my host machine anytime. So what we're going to do, we're going to change this MAC address using manual terminal commands. And later on, we will use these commands in our codes in order to learn how to run Linux commands or Windows commands inside Python code. So this is a step for us. We didn't know how to do that before, and we're going to write our first program. So let me clear this terminal and have a clear screen in here, and let me start by running ifconfig one more time. So I'm going to use ifconfig actually, but I'm going to add some more things to ifconfig commands. So rather than saying ifconfig, I will use ifconfig to change the ether. So first of all, I will say ifconfig ETH0 down. And it will bring down the current interface. As you can see, I lost my internet connection at this point. So after this, I will say ifconfig HW ether, and it means that I'm going to change hardware, and I'm going to say ETH0 HW ether because I have to specify the interface that I'm changing the hardware of, and I have to change this ether, this MAC address thing. Then I can specify the MAC address that I want, like this one. It has to be 6 pairings, okay? 001122334455, for example. And if I hit enter, it will just change this HW ether value for me. Then I can say ETH0 up, and it brought back the internet connection, but for the reason that I have mentioned before, you must have lost your internet connection at this point. So if I run ifconfig again, I will see that my MAC address is actually changed at this point. So I managed to change the MAC address. All I want to do is just writing a program, a Python code to do that for me. And this will be a very simple example, but we will learn so much new information regarding programming softwares for ethical hacking purposes specifically. So let me go to, where am I? We are in root. So let me go to opt and PyCharm community again to find my PyCharm sh. So it's in the bin. So all I have to do is just /PyCharm sh. It will open PyCharm for me. And as I said before, we have to run PyCharm this way every time, but it won't ask that boring questions one more time because we have already installed it in our computer. It knows what we want. It will just run and open the PyCharm for us. So let me minimize this, and I think it's opening the old project of Hello World. It really doesn't matter because we're going to create a new project anyway. We're not going to use the existing project in here. So I'm going to file and say new project from here, and I have to change the name, of course. So let me name this like Mac Changer. I have some numerations here as well in order to just supply these codes to you via GitHub or Udemy. It really doesn't matter. So you will say create and click this window. If you click this window, it will get rid of your X project in here. It will close it down and open your new project in the same window. So it created our new project for us. And remember, we have this project right now, but we don't have any Python codes, Python files in here. So go to new here and say Python file. Now I'm going to call it like my Mac Changer, okay, with underscores .py. You may name it whatever you want. If you click on OK, it will create our Python file as well. Now we are ready to run and write our first ethical hacking tool. So if I say print hello world or something like Mac Changer, it will just run this for me. Let me save this and stop here, and within the next lecture we're going to start writing our first piece of code.